Hi everybody, my name is Jim with Footman Adventure Club, and I'm very excited because I just got my Apex today, my solar generator from Inergy, and I've been loving using it for the last like 4 or 5 days, and I want to go over all the features and the new specs and the ports and all that good stuff, and then really put it through some paces and testing. We're going to run an RV air conditioner off of it and some really big stuff to really push it over the edge and see how the new model performs. Now, for those of you that got this for the pre-sale, $700 off, good for you, that's awesome. They did extend their pre-sale, so if you want to use the code word adventure or the link down below, you'll still save 20% off absolutely everything that they have there, the kits, the accessories, the blah, blah, blah. And they're also doing an extended pre-sale, so you can save up to $550 still until June 7th, I think. Might be July. Did I write that down? I'm not sure I did. Yeah, June 7th. So if you still want to pick one up, you can still save some money on it. So diving right into the Apex itself. As far as what's in the box, very simple. Here you just pull off the cover. You're going to have part of your power adapter cord right there, your shoulder strap. There's the rest of your AC power supply. And then the unit itself is very nicely packaged and good and secure. Absolutely loving the graphic design. The dimensions are identical. I mean, they're really, really close to the same exact dimensions. However, it did gain 5 pounds. Now, I actually have the Kodiak right here that I can straight arm out right in front of you, 20 pounds. That's amazing for the power in there. And then I have the Apex. I can still straight arm it, but you really feel that 5 pounds. So it did gain 5 pounds, maybe for safety issues, maybe for the new MPPT charge controller, I'm not sure. But it's not a huge difference. I mean, it's still 20 pounds lighter than its closest competitor. So it's still the lightest weight unit on the market, but it did gain 5 pounds. And you can feel it. I mean, the other one just felt very light, and this one's got a little more girth to it, but 25 pounds, not a deal breaker at all. So the MPP charge controller that they switched out is a big deal. It's 30% more efficient. Now, you can't plug 600 watts of solar into the new Apex. You can plug 500 watts of solar in, but it's 30% more efficient, so that more than makes up for it. So with 500 watts of solar, you can actually charge this guy in like 3 hours, 3.5. That's incredible for how much energy is inside it. So let's kind of take a look at the Apex itself, the layout, the new buttons, the new stuff that they've added, and really check out the predecessor and see what they've improved. So the unit itself still has a 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter, which means it's completely safe for all kinds of sensitive electronics, laptops, computers, all that good stuff. And it does have a 3000 watt maximum surge capacity to get the bigger stuff going, which is very impressive. Now it has 500 watts of input that you can put in through solar or wind or anything like that through that new MPPT charge controller, which is great. It still has the same kind of battery functionality with 1100 watts and basically a 90 amp hour lithium ion battery inside. And the battery life expectancy gives you up to 2,000 cycles or 10 years of usage. And I mean, if you think about that, 2,000 full cycles, you could use that every single day, 365 days a year. And with 2,000 cycles, that'd give you 5.5 years of use with this guy. And even then, it's just gonna be at a diminished capacity to maybe 80%. So you're gonna get a whole lot more cycles out of it after that, just at, you know, maybe 80% instead of 100. So that's incredible. You could use this thing for a very, very long time, all the time. Now, let's see here. Battery expansion is a big deal. New thing for the Apex is the ability to connect lithium ion batteries from Inergy. So it has to be the Inergy brand, and I think the reason they're doing that is probably because when it comes to lithium, you have to be very careful when you're mixing and matching. If you tell people you can connect any kind of lithium, they're going to plug in some weird stuff, and it could be a dangerous situation. So you really want the types, the formulas, and the voltages to match up exactly when you're adding lithium batteries. And so I'm pretty sure that's why they're saying you can only use it with their lithium batteries that are going to be coming out soon. But other than that, you can also use it with lead acid, gel, AGM, all kinds of batteries, and expand it up to 3,000 or 4,000 watts of capacity, almost 250, 300 amp hours you can add onto this guy, which is really incredible. It makes it a really viable power source for off-grid living, tiny homes, prepping, RV stuff. Really, really versatile, being able to add batteries to it like that. And the lithiums, I'm really excited to check out and try. They also have their new solar panels, which are the I believe they're the Lynx, and they're 100-watt semi-flexible panels. I have yet to get my hands on those, but I'm really excited about those as well. 100-watt panels, or of course you can use their, I think they're Storm brands, but they're, you know, they're the more robust solid mount, a little heavier. But if you're doing a permanent installation, you could definitely go with those. But back to the changes on the Apex. So they did change up the USB ports. They got rid of 2 of the normal standard USB connections, and now they just have 2 standard USBs for fast charging that are 2 amp, I believe. And then up above that, you have 2 Qualcomm 3 ports, which are basically like USB-C connections that almost all smart devices are switching to now. I mean, USB-C is reversible, and it's what my phone goes off of. It's just about anything. And so some people might want them to keep those USBs, but you could always use many other adapters to add as many USB connections to this thing as you want, from an AC plug-in with USB adapters on it to a cigarette lighter adapter with USBs on it, or more Qualcomm 3 adapters, anything you want. So really that's not an issue at all, and I like that they have added them. The display is a huge upgrade on this guy. Now you can actually tell how much power is coming in from your solar into the batteries. It's going to have a little arrow that's going to indicate when it's charging, and an arrow pointing the other direction to indicate when power is coming out, when it's powering something. So that was a huge upgrade. I really like what they've done there. And also the switch, the 3-position power switch, I think is great. And that was one of the things that I was upset about with the other one, is that you have to turn on the button for the on power, but that turned on the inverter, and you had to have it even if you just wanted to plug in a USB. So the USBs were not active on the Kodiak unless the inverter was on, which is going to draw some of your power. So I didn't like that. So they've taken care of that problem by adding the 3-way switch, so you can actually just turn on all the DC switches, USB connections, lighter sockets, all that stuff without running the inverter, which is going to save you power in the long run. Or you switch it the other way and it's going to activate the inverter and give you all that 1500 watt pure sine wave power out of all of the different outlets. So getting into the outlets, you still have those 6 110 volt outlets, and they're going to handle 1000 watts of power, or 10 amps a piece, or a combined total of 1500 watts outgoing power from all 6 of them, which is great. So you can use those however you wish. And then of course it also has the very handy 30 amp RV plug connection on there, which is going to give you 12.5 amps of output power. It's not a 30 amp, but it's, you know, power source, but it's a 30 amp plug for RVs. So you have an idea of what's going to fit in there. Those 3-prong RV plugs like I use all the time, which is great. Very, very handy. And I'm actually going to use those ports to actually permanently install both of these in my RV. So look forward to that video too. That's going to be pretty cool. So I can actually add all of that lithium power to my RV, which is going to be great. It now has an EC8 solar input plug right here, which is very user friendly. And I was concerned when they were getting rid of the MC4 adapter, but really it's a really sturdy plug-in. It feels solid. The wires coming off of it are very solid, and I think it's a little more user friendly. So I actually like this upgrade. It's just fine. And of course you can still use the AC wall adapter or the car adapter to charge in the smaller solar port, but you can no longer do solar in that port. It's just for the EC8 main solar wind input port right there. So that's going to be your only way to really charge it using solar. Moving on from that, I take these guys everywhere with me. I've used the Kodiak so much, almost every day through the summer, putting it through grueling conditions and testing, and it is still going strong. And I took it with me on my RV trip when weight was a real issue. I brought both of these guys, and I am not sending one home or getting rid of them. They're both staying with me. I got rid of tools to save weight to make sure that these could come with me because I love them absolutely so much. And they're crushing it so far. So I really love it. And what I'm going to do is actually permanently install both of these in the RV so I don't have to have them outside plugged in, because I'm afraid they might walk off on their own, or rain or anything else. You don't want to leave them out overnight. So I'm actually going to permanently install these with 30 amp plugs inside the RV. That's how much I like these guys. I'm going to keep them both and just put them in the RV. Let's get to some testing now that we've gone through some of the features that we have on there. Let's take it out to the RV and let me kind of give you a little tour of all the things that you can run off this guy, and then some. Because I mean, of course you can still run chop saws and wet dry vacs and all kinds of stuff that they have listed on their website. For example, on their website they list a lot of run times, and I'll read over some of the things that it'll run with you real quick. Like a smartphone, it'll run for over 100 hours. Tablets, it'll run for 40 hours plus. Laptops for 20 hours. Electric blankets, which I love using while I'm camping, by the way. My girlfriend absolutely loves that feature, for 17 hours. And that's a big electric blanket. A refrigerator, an 18 cubic foot Energy Star refrigerator. It'll run that for, let's see here, 33 hours. 50-inch LED TV for 16 hours. It'll run a 1,000-watt microwave for an entire hour. So if you're microwaving a chicken or something like that, you're good to go. Chest freezer, 9 cubic foot, 50 hours. And the base camp LEDs, it'll run for 183 hours if you just want to light something up. But that's all really impressive numbers. But I can't really show you the chop saws and all the big tools because I left those at home. But it's the exact same inverter with the same capacity. So of course it's still going to run all that stuff. You can watch my other video on the Kodiak if you want to see those. But for this one, let's check it out on all the RV stuff that I can throw at it. Microwaves and air conditioners and all that good stuff. Let's jump out there right now. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take our RV power cord right here, and we're going to plug it into the Apex. If I can do this one-handed here. There we go. Turn on the inverter, and I'll have the camera right here, hopefully showing you what kind of wattage we're using there. I think I better readjust that. There we go. Okay, so we have our camera, our Apex plugged in. Let's take you on a little tour. Show you all the things that we have plugged in over here. All right, so now that we are inside, let's start with the entertainment center. So we have our Nintendo Switch going right there, so we can play some games, some Mario Kart if you have kids or you're just a big kid inside. We also have a tablet going on that's being charged right here. And you're gonna have my laptop that's also being charged. We have lights going on all over the place. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 LED lights going. And up in the front, that stereo is actually what runs all of the audio from our TV. So we've got like a 19-inch TV right there. It's a monitor, lots of USB plugs on it, swivel arm. And we do have Wi-Fi in here. You can see everything is connected to Wi-Fi, hooked up to Full Mid Adventure Club. And if we go across, I will show you that setup over here. Up top, we do have some things plugged in right here. We've got our Canary. This is our security system, which is right down here. And maybe if I close these curtains, you'll be able to better kind of see what's going on down here. So this is the Canary, which is a security system. It like kind of keeps an eye on things, and you can stream video from it on your phone. Have another tablet right here that's hooked up to my server. So I have a Plex server, so you can watch pretty much any movie you want. Up to 8 people can connect to that and watch different movies. And that's all run by this guy right here, which is a hard drive that has Wi-Fi built into it. Its own Wi-Fi, so it'll broadcast that Wi-Fi signal so up to 8 people can connect. I have a nice big cell phone booster that's also plugged in, so that's going on right now. And that is giving pretty much all of our signal strength to our Verizon Jetpack right there. And that's what's giving us our Wi-Fi, and it's doing a really good job. I'm actually really impressed with it. We even have an Alexa hooked up. Computer, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
So that's kind of cool. And if you look down below, we do have a robotic vacuum cleaner that's also plugged in. And that's charging up as well. It actually does a pretty good job too. We were skeptical about that, but it's doing a great job. But all of these things are being powered by the Apex, the Energy Apex. And so that's running absolutely everything in here, which is impressive all by itself. But another really cool thing that if you look over here to the side, this refrigerator is running off AC power, not gas. So that's very cool. And then if we look over here, we're going to have the microwave. And let's really push this guy over the top and we'll be able to check out the reading. I don't know why the camera is being so difficult with me here. Get up there. Look up. Come on. I'm just going to move it by hand. There we go. So let's see if we can run the microwave as well. I can't run it for long because there's nothing in there. But it does actually run the microwave. What can I microwave? I should have thought of that beforehand. But the microwave does indeed work. And so all of these things are being run by the Inergy Apex, which I think is absolutely incredible. And the fact that it'll run the microwave as well is just crazy. So that 1500 watt inverter, I'm sure, is pushed a little over that with that temperature setting. But let's do it again just so we can kind of see what's going on with that temperature setting. It's going to start sparking if I don't have things in it. But you can absolutely run a microwave even with nothing in it off that Apex, which is very, very crazy. And you may be looking up at the AC and wondering to yourself, will it run the AC? Yes it will. I'll show you some footage of that here in just a second. But that's incredibly impressive that it's running all of this stuff off of the Apex. I could be charging my batteries with solar or anything else. All the power is coming off the Apex, and we have 1100 watts of power in that thing, or 90 amp hours, which is very, very impressive. So I just wanted to share that with you. Running 2 tablets, security system, a robot vacuum cleaner, an Alexa, Wi-Fi, signal booster antenna, laptop, Nintendo Switch, 19-inch TV, 10 LEDs, and the refrigerator off AC. And I still have enough power for the microwave, not to mention the stereo up front, which does have 2 subwoofers as well, so we can have really good surround sound in here when we're watching movies on the big screen. So really, really impressive. And if I forgot to mention it in the video, the reason that wattage might look high is because I'm also charging my house batteries with 20 amps of power. So you can see that little 20 amp, 19 amp right there. That's power going into the battery. So we were actually really pushing the Apex pretty hard doing all of that and running the microwave, but it looks like it handled it. So let's check out the wattage numbers. So when I mentioned the air conditioner in the RV, I do have an Easy Start 364 installed on the air conditioner, which might make it a little easier. But as we know from my other videos, the Kodiak was able to start that same air conditioner without an Easy Start and run it for 30 minutes. So even with the Easy Start, let's put the Apex on there and make sure that it has the same strength that the old Kodiak does and more. And let's watch it running that air conditioner. And this is a Dometic NXT 15,000 BTU RV air conditioner. Let's check it out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take our 30 amp RV plug and plug that into the Inergy Apex, turn on the inverter, and go inside to turn on the air conditioner. So now we're in here, we're going to go ahead and power this guy up. We'll double click, one to turn on the display, the other one to turn that on. You're going to hear the fan kick up. And I'll throw up the energy display on the Apex there. We're drawing about 368 watts just running the fan on high. And I'm going to show you guys using the temperature gun so you can't hear the compressor kick on, but the temperature will give you a visual indication that it is working. So we're starting at 74 degrees, still drawing about 360 watts. And now it's going to take a little while for the compressor to kick in. I think it takes about 2 minutes. So we're going to speed things up a little bit here so we get to the point where it's going to start. And if you guys want to watch my other video where I actually run a 5,000 BTU window unit for multiple hours using one of these guys, I'll put the links to those down below in the video description so you can check those out as well, because they do run a 5,000 BTU air conditioner quite well. We're going to be pushing this guy way over the top doing this 15,000 BTU because it's going to take 16 to 1700 watts once the compressor gets all built up. And so here we go. You can see the wattage kind of going up. I'm not sure how the Easy Start necessarily works, but it seems like it's kind of feeding some power into it so it can kind of ramp up here. The compressor has not yet started, but we're about to. So as soon as this gets going, and of course this isn't really the practical application or use of the solar generator, because obviously this much wattage is going to drain the battery very fast. Even if you did have 500 watts of solar, it's not going to keep up with this much energy for long, but I think it's really impressive that it can handle this much energy. So if you're talking about chop saws, power tools, anything like that, this is going to handle it no problem. So there you go. The compressor just kind of jumped up there, kicked on, and you can see immediately the temperature is going to start to slowly fall, and we're at around 1200 watts, and it's going to jump up once the compressor gets wound up to around 15, 16, and even 1700 watts at times. And now you can see the temperature really starting to fall. The compressor is going full bore, and everything's working great. And the Kodiak, even though it's a 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter, is currently sustaining 1650 to 1700 watts right now running the air conditioner. So it's definitely performing very, very well. And you can see the temperature falling. We're going to take that all the way down to like 49 degrees or something like that. And this will be a completely successful test of it running the air conditioner. You see it just jumped to 1700 watts right there, which is crazy. So there you go. We made it down to 47 degrees and the Kodiak did all of that. Took, 5 minutes and we're good. So when it comes time to charge all of your devices, do you really want it to sound like this? Or do you want it to sound like this? So there you have it. It still has all the strength of the old Kodiak with a lot of really cool upgrades. I take these with me absolutely everywhere I go. Camping to run speakers, to run electric blankets, charge up our water filters or our camera batteries, walkie-talkies, you name it, GPS. There's no limit to the things that you can run off this thing and charge it up off the sun. Another really good feature that this has is the ability to actually charge with 500 watts of solar or any other device and output power at the same time. So all the stuff that you just saw me running inside the RV without the microwave was around 500 watts. This will take 500 watts of solar and I could just run that stuff all day and then still have a 90 amp hour battery completely full, charged, ready to go, and give me another 2 or 3 hours of operation after the sun goes down. And that battery inside will last for 5.5 years at 100%, using it every single day, 365 days a year. And after that, it's gonna be at 80%. That's incredible technology as far as solar generators have come. It just blows my mind, the advancements that they're making. But I love this guy. So if you want to check one of these out, again, they are extending their pre-sale. My code ADVENTURE or the link down below will save you 20% off any product. The Apex, any of their kits, their gold kits, their big solar panels, their accessories, all that stuff, 20%. And they're continuing their pre-sale kind of at a diminished capacity. But still, you can save hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So if you want one, click the link. Until June 7th, they're going to be running that. And if you've already missed that and this video is old, I'd buy one anyway because they're worth every bit of the total price that they're going to be charging after the pre-sale. That about covers it. I'm loving it, and I'm going to show you guys a video of me permanently installing them and using them down the road. And if I ever have any problems or concerns, I will definitely share those with you as they come up. And I think that about covers it for now. So my name is Jim with Full Moon Adventure Club. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again for watching, and happy camping.